What's up, guys? We're back for another BTS reaction, or more like a Suga reaction, because I'm gonna be listening to an Agust D song, which I don't know the name of because it's in Korean. But anyways, the reason that I'm gonna listen to this is because I've realized that Suga is probably the person that I've least paid attention to when listening or watching BTS. And I'm pretty sure that in this song, Suga is the only one who sings. So this way, if I'm only listening to him, I'll only be paying attention to him, and I'm not gonna have Jimin or Jungkook distract me. I know that Agust D is also a rapper, but I'm not sure if this song is gonna be rap or if he's gonna focus on his vocals, or maybe both. And also, I'm excited because DK TV does have an explanation video. So after the music video, I'll immediately watch the explanation afterwards. But anyways, let's start with the music video. Okay, looks like there might be a lot of Korean culture references here. Yo, he's looking pretty cool right now. Okay, looks like the music video is gonna be really cool. Alright, I have no clue on what to expect.
Yeah. Oh.
Alright, he's clearly the rapper. Yo, this is Suga? Yo, every time I look at Suga, he always looks like this quiet kid. Like the shy guy who's always sitting in the back. And right here, I don't even recognize him. He's saying this word a lot, and I'm not sure what that means. Yo, what's going on in the back of the music video? A freaking fight's going on? What the hell was that punch? Did you guys see that? Yeah. He didn't even hit him. Oh, yo, his flow. Okay, Suga, I see you. He's got some very nice flow right now. Also, in rap, I feel like some people just have a really good voice for rapping, and some people don't. He's one of the people that does. Pathetic fucks? Did he actually say that shit? That's kind of rude, Suga. Damn, kill him all, yo. Yo, he's looking really cool right now in this music video. Off with their heads. Yo, wait, he was talking about that literally. They really did cut off their heads. What? So what is going on? Yeah, I'm gonna have to look up what that word means. Or they're probably gonna explain it in the explanation video. And they got cars as well? Oh, hold up. Oh wait, that's just Suga again. For a second I didn't recognize him. Yo, he doesn't look like someone who could spit this hard. Imagine showing somebody a picture of nice and cute Suga, and then you show him this. They're gonna be like, what? That's the same person? Yo, the freaking music video as well. I mean, I haven't seen many BTS music videos, but this has got to be one of the coolest ones. Oh. Blindfolded and tied up, what? I can see why he's the only one who sings in this song. Oh, we're gonna have a bit of story as well. I wonder if DKTV is gonna explain what's even happening here. Oh no, they're about to chop off his head, huh? Everyone's just bopping their heads. I started doing it subconsciously. Again with that word. Oh wait, so did they chop off his head? Hey, he looks fine. Oh, they saved him. I guess they must have really liked his rapping. What's he about to do? Oh, he's confronting the freaking boss right now? He just straight up killed him. You're telling me this is the person who was rapping during that music video? Looks can be very deceiving. Yo, Suga actually goes hard with them bars. I mean, that music sounds like the type of music that I hear when I'm like walking by some abandoned house and there's a whole bunch of bald dudes doing graffiti or doing drugs. Now, I have seen RM do some hard rap like this, so I know that BTS can bring the freaking heat when rapping. And now I do see the skills that Suga has. The music video looked like it had many references and things to explain, so I'm glad that I'm about to watch an explanation video in about 2 hours because I just got a phone call and have to go. But obviously for you it's only gonna be in like 20 seconds. So yeah, I'll be back soon with the explanation video. Okay, I'm back just in time for the explanation video. I imagine he's gonna explain what this word means.
Another hard-hitting mixtape titled D2.
Yep, very hard.
The album released in 2016 focused on the tough time Suga faced when he was a teenager. Suga's at a very different place now. He's much older and he's much more successful. And this album focuses on the changes of his feelings after becoming one of music's biggest superstars.
So Suga had already talked about himself in a song back in 2016, and it's been years since then. And BTS members love talking about their current situations. He did say that this was Suga's mixtape called D2, so that must mean that there are other songs that he made.
It's a very honest album, and my personal favorite off of this is the title track, Daechwita. It's an ultimate flex track slash warning slash reminder with tons of historical references.
Ooh, historical references.
Into it.
Yeah, it seemed very, very Asian. Something which I am very unfamiliar with. And I don't know what he's wearing, but it looks very cool.
Yeah. Oh.
Play it loud.
Daechwita is Korean traditional marching music that was played when kings or royalty were moving about or important
Okay,
guests
well
would visit,
that answers
as well
my
as
question.
when an army would be marching.
So I imagine that Suga was like the king when he was wearing that cool stuff.
There are two main characters in this music video, a King Suga and
Right,
a bottom class
that answers
Suga.
it.
We can see that the King Suga is a tyrant. He has everyone kneeling down with the faces down.
And he got shot at the end.
And he beheads people who have complaints in this scene. You can see the Shinmungo here. People in the Joseon dynasty would hit this drum if they had something that they've been wronged. They'd hit this drum and the king or someone up in the hierarchy would come and sort out their problems.
Dang, we have a whole history lesson in Suga's music video.
Except here, King Suga is killing the people who have such complaints and issues.
I mean, a lot of kings were probably this fucked up back in the day. It was some dark times.
Suga, with the help of BTS, an army represented by the 6 other men and a woman in the scene, starts a coup. He drives up a car.
Oh, so that's what the story's about.
BTS, and also a cute painting of Bang PD. By the way, this painting has us presenting BTS.
Bang PD,
and also a cute painting of...
That just looks like a little face with a huge ass nose. Look, the 2 eyes, the nose, and the lips. Yeah, maybe that's what it's supposed to be.
By the way, this painting has its origins in a Jungkook drawing of Bang PD. It's pretty funny. The King Suga sees painting has its origins
so it actually is a person, Bang PD. What kind of drawing is that? He didn't even give him a mouth or anything.
It's pretty funny. The King Suga sees this and gives a thumbs down and captures the bottom class Suga. The King Suga wants to kill him.
Yeah, and he tried to kill him.
Does this graceful sword dance, which apparently Suga learned in 2 days. Meanwhile, bottom class Suga
2 freaking days.
does this graceful sword dance, which apparently Suga learned in 2 days.
That's how fast they learned their choreographies.
Meanwhile, bottom class Suga, blindfolded and tied down, starts headbanging, singing,
and rapping. And for some reason, he wasn't killed after that.
How I told you that Daechwita was played when kings were about, or when the army would be marching.
True.
The bottom class Suga singing this is an announcement that he is actually the real king. He feels like
real
he's
king?
the king. The people under the king, the very ones that were kneeling to him in the beginning, are now joining Suga, headbanging with him. This
Dang, they all turned on the king.
These kneeling people are armies marching together with the bottom class Suga. At the
Yeah,
end,
it's all about
the
working together,
executioner who
people.
was supposed to take down the bottom class Suga actually frees him and gives him
Yeah.
a gun.
And they
Bottom
kill the
class
king.
Suga
What a
grabs
happy
this
ending.
And shoots the king. I think the MV and the song is a metaphor for BTS and ARMY taking down the existing system and the ruling forces of the industry. The King Suga represents the system, the existing system, the few powerful companies
The fucked up system.
that had control over the industry before BTS came to the scene.
Dang, it was that bad?
Suga is Suga himself in a small company with basically nothing, as if he was born into a bottom class, and winning the people over, eventually taking down the king with BTS and armies.
Basically, him in the music video is like, I don't know, big hit entertainment. But yo, was the industry actually that bad? Probably. I mean, it's common knowledge that the acting industry, the music industry, that it's pretty effed up.
I think Suga picked the perfect motif to convey his message. And if you look at the historical references, you'll be more amazed at how clever this all is.
And so started from the bottom.
Well, this single verse has a lot to unpack, but let's just start with this line. The Joseon dynasty, which is most likely where the song is set in, had a strict class system where there was a heavy discrimination based on which class you were born into. Slaves were not even considered human.
Dang.
They would be traded in cases their owners didn't have enough money, and they were thought of
Yeah, it was some bad
as
times.
things. Think about the mistreatment that BTS received earlier on in their careers. They faced heavy discrimination due to them being from a small company, and they were mistreated. So
Yeah, I don't know too much about how badly they were treated, but in the This Is BTS video, I did see a little bit of the things that they had to go through when they started off.
So it's easy to understand why Suga called himself a slave here. Slaves in Joseon were almost completely blocked off from advancing to higher classes, so for a slave to become a king is basically impossible. But Suga's saying
Nothing is impossible, my friend.
The following line is a reference to Kwang Hae-gun, the king of Joseon dynasty in the 17th century. He developed paranoia while in power and notoriously became violent and reckless. hence the line Berserk Tiger, Kwanghae Flow.
Yep,
But
just
I
like
think
that
there
king
are
in the
more
music
reasons
video.
Suga referenced Kwanghae in the lyrics, especially if you consider what his life was like. Kwanghae-gun had a very roller coaster of a life. Originally, he was a war hero, defending Joseon against the Japanese invasion of 1592, one of the
But he was a
biggest
good guy.
wars in Korean history. His father, who was then king, had fled when the war broke out, and the 18-year-old Prince Kwanghae led Joseon troops in the battlefield.
At
Early this
18
time,
years
no
old?
kings or to-be kings go out into the battlefield themselves. So Kwanghae, fighting with the people, won their hearts
Yep,
over. And
respectable.
there were movements to throne him as the king instead of his father. The father felt threatened by this, so he made a lot of political efforts to stop Kwanghae from gaining influence. Eventually,
That's
Kwanghae
fucked up, man. His own father?
stuck between two large political powers, and this struggle eventually made Kwanghae go paranoid and become violent and reckless.
Yo, that shit sounds
Ultimately, he was
intense.
dethroned after a coup. I think Suga somewhat relates to Kwanghae as he himself had been through a tough adolescence, having to go out into the battlefield at an early age, just like Kwanghae did. He was an idol with no money, from a small company stuck in an industry dominated by big corporations. When Suga started winning battles and gaining power, he must felt a lot of efforts from the existing big powers to keep him away from the throne.
Man, it's pretty crazy how the music video about a slave dethroning the king and all that. And to see, you know, the similarities between what BTS had to go through. Very interesting. Yo, BTS loves talking about themselves and the army in their songs, huh?
Like what Kwanghae experienced from his father when the people wanted him to become the king. Suga mentions putting his past in the rice chest. For many Koreans, the word Twiju, or rice chest, is strongly connected to the tragic story
Wait, what?
of Sadoseja.
A rice
word
chest.
Twiju.
I've never heard of that. Do you actually put rice in that?
Is strongly connected to the tragic story of Sadoseja, which involves him dying in a rice chest. Sadoseja,
Oh, dying in one, so the chest is pretty big, basically. I thought it was like a small thing.
Connected to the tragic story of Sadoseja, which involves him dying in a rice chest.
Wait, how did he die in a chest? Did someone lock him up?
Sadoseja was the son of then King Yeongjo, and his father was extremely harsh on him, humiliating him and scolding him in front of others at a very early age. This became so severe that Sadoseja attempted to commit suicide a few times.
What the hell?
But even then, he was treated terribly. He developed what modern doctors diagnose as bipolar disorder and began acting very violently. Eventually, the king ended up hating Sadoseja so much that he orders Sadoseja to go into a rice chest.
Yo, why are these references so freaking dark?
Sadoseja went in, and he was stuck inside for 8 days and eventually starved to death.
Alright, that is very fucked up.
Filled with being humiliated and mistreated, and mental health issues just not being understood. Suga has been pretty open about his mental health issues he had when he was growing up, and I think he relates to Sadoseja. He sees himself in him. He says he's putting his past in the rice chest. It's a declaration that he's putting the old troubled Yoongi, the Sadoseja Yoongi, behind and looking at what's ahead of him.
Yeah, because he's a better person now. Gotta stick up your ass with I'm a genius. Humbleness.
In the second verse, Suga focuses more on how he's now on the throne and he's better than everybody else. Suga directly name drops Pang
True.
PD and also takes a shot at other artists who do drugs thinking that they write better music while they're high.
Oh, so that's what that was about. Very true. How many rappers do you see these days that are always smoking weed or some other drug? They're always getting high when writing their songs, when recording their songs, when performing their songs. It's kind of crazy.
I won't name any names here, but I'm sure you can think of an artist or a few artists for that matter.
Many.
That will be at the butt end of this. Some in bigger companies, in fact.
Ooh, boy!
The diss aside,
What was
this
that?
line is also a glimpse into Bang PD's relationship with BTS. In a typical company,
Oh, so that's
it'd be
Bang
extremely
PD?
difficult to even mention the name of your boss this openly without putting the honorifics Nim, especially considering how much a veteran and how much older Bang PD is compared to BTS. However, Suga name drops Bang PD as if he was his friend. We can sense that there is a very close bond and assume that Bang PD is very democratic with BTS.
Well, yeah, I
And
mean,
however,
look at the way they were hugging right here.
Suga
Look at that, they're all smiling, having a good time, holding some flowers.
Because talking of Pang PD so casually is a flex of its own to others, as it's a sign that BTS has become so big and valuable to the company that he's at level with Pang PD.
Dang, so he's not inferior to the boss at this point.
Now this is an interesting bit. Here Suga uses the Korean word hyunta. Hyunta is an interesting Korean slang that is used all around the internet. Directly translated as wise man's time, it is a word to describe the feeling you get right after you've ejaculated.
Wait a minute, what? I was very intrigued into what the word meant, and it ended up with that?
Yes, ejaculated, and you feel no more sexual urges, and you have a moment of clarity in your brain.
No wonder it's only said in the internet.
You feel still, present, and sometimes disappointed that
and
the
depressed.
short moment of satisfaction was all you got, and you worked so hard for it.
Alright, it's not that bad.
This slang originated from Japan, but it has become a staple in Korean everyday language, and it is widely used in everyday life outside of sexual situations.
Alright, that's pretty weird.
When you finally got what you dearly wanted, and you wonder, that was it? Suga's saying he's feeling extreme hyunta because he has it all. He has money, he has clothes, he has everything he ever wanted, and there's nothing, no one above him. While this could be considered a small cry for help, I think within the context of this song, it's more of a hard flex. He's saying, others can only dream of what I have, but now I got everything and I feel bored and disappointed.
I feel like BTS does have the right to brag. When people work hard for it, then respect for them.
But you won't know how I feel because you never had any of this. BTS has been on the top for the past few years, absolutely dominating, with a level of popularity that has never been seen in K-pop before.
Yeah, it's freaking crazy. The pictures of their concerts, the stadiums are
so
huge.
Sometimes you forget that they too had humble beginnings. In fact, more humble than most top artists out now today. They had to fight their way through discrimination, mistreatment, and humiliation. Daechwita is a reminder that this was where they started, and they took that system down. And it's
Alright, that's a really nice message.
They had the resilience and the force to go through all of this, to go from slave to king.
Okay, you know, totally makes a lot of sense when you watch this video.
Us on patreon.com/JACKPOTSAMA helps us a lot. These explain videos get copyright claimed, thus we make no money off of them. 0 cents.
That's kind of fucked up.
Supporting us on patreon.com/JACKPOTSAMA. For just a cup of coffee a month, you can get exclusive content and also help us continue our careers.
Alright, so DKTV actually has a Patreon. Alright, so once you understand that the music video was about a slave becoming a king by overthrowing this corrupt king who's a bad guy, then you can relate to that situation with what BTS had to go through in order to get to where they are now. I mean, DKTV did a great job at explaining it, because it probably wasn't easy for BTS to get to where they are right now. And a big part of that, from what I heard, was about the music industry in Korea, and the fact that because they weren't from a top company, that they were treated harshly. So yeah, now I'm wondering, how bad was it really? Were they just like not given many opportunities to sing and perform in places just because they weren't from a big company? Now I'm very curious as to exactly how BTS became so freaking famous. How they were able to beat this system and become very freaking popular with all these disadvantages. But anyways, that was a song by Agust or Suga. Before today, I didn't really pay too much attention to him, but now I will notice his flow, his skill in every song. But anyways, thanks for watching.